Okay, Nelly has started live stream. We are on YouTube, and I'm going to turn on our recording, and I'm going to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello everyone, and welcome to another great session in the series Best of EVO within TESOL 2022, Computer Assisted Language Learning Intersection, and EVO 2022 are presenting Best of EVO 2022. I'm Sanja Bojinovic, one of the coordinators, and I'm your moderator together with Nagla Salem and Rose Bard. And in this session, we are presenting three different sessions, 5-week sessions from this year's edition of EVO Electronic Village Online 2022. And they are CFR versus assessment, classroom-based research for professional development, and mentoring teacher research. Nagla, it's your turn to present our first session for this meeting, and that is classroom-based research for professional development.
Thank you very much, Sanja. So on behalf of the moderating team, we have Ruben Masai and we have Mariana Serra. We're looking forward to hearing about your session. You can start now. Go ahead.
Okay. Mariana, can you share your screen with the slides?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
All right. Here we are. All right. Let's see. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. And while we are waiting for Mariana to share the screen, could you please, everyone, write your full name and the country where you are joining us from in the chat, so we know where we have participants from. Thank you. Mariana, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very, very much. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity and this invitation. My name is Mariana Serra and my partner is Ruben Masei. Both of us are from Argentina and we have been the lead moderators of classroom-based research for professional development, EVO 2022. Welcome, Ruben. How are you today?
Well, fine. Happy to be here sharing this experience with you all. Yes, and also eager to learn about the other workshops as well.
Yes, of course. Ruben, I would like you to tell us and to tell the audience too about the aims classroom-based research for professional development workshop this year, which the aims were, and also to talk about what it was about briefly, about the synchronous meetings, the platform, etc. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mariana. Well, classroom-based research for professional development is a 5-week-long workshop as part of the EVO sessions. And it is, well, as the name suggests, is about guiding teachers to experiment, to experience research in their own classrooms. It has to do precisely with that. And it is one of the main aims of the workshop to guide, to scaffold teachers in the process of researching from identifying a topic until the final outcomes when they present and when they disseminate their research results findings. We guide teachers basically, but it's not only guiding, it's also interacting with them. And we as lead moderators and the mentors in our teams that you can see here in the slide Mariana is sharing, we also learn from them. So it's learning from both sides. Yes, not only the teachers participating who are learning, but we are also learning from our mentors' roles as well. And so, Mariana, could you describe the workshop briefly, or shall I?
It's up to you. Do it if you want.
Okay, well, we used Canvas as the platform for asynchronous tasks and activities and interaction, and Zoom for our weekly meetings, yeah, in our sessions, live sessions, I mean. Well, teachers, as I mentioned before, teachers participated in different activities, tasks related to the different stages of the research process, from their explorations, well, then researching, their own experimenting, implementing in their own classrooms, until the final stage when most of them presented their outcomes and findings. I say most of them because depending on the region and the country where teachers are from, in some cases, well, and in the case of Argentina, for example, we have summer holidays at schools, so we are not in contact with students until March, and the workshop is January, February. So that's why some teachers presented their research plans, but now they are going to implement their action research. And that's why we decided this year to continue being in contact with participants throughout the year, precisely because of this, because some of them were not able to implement their explorations and research, and we want to be in contact with them in case they need more help or guidance in relation to their research. Okay, well, the webinars were once a week, yes, on Saturdays. And what was different this year was that we invited some experts in the area, but we also wanted to invite teachers who have experienced exploratory action research or classroom-based research, and we want them to share their experiences as well. So this was, this was good for us. We are very happy, and participants were happy, yes, for listening to their peers, their colleagues, yes, who have gone through similar experiences in the area of exploratory action research. Okay, so Mariana, is there anything else I'm forgetting that was new in this?
No, your description was very clear, Ruben. I would like to ask, to add that we had some other innovative aspects. For example, well, Ruben mentioned our synchronous meetings. Well, there was a lot of interaction during those meetings in breakout rooms, as Ruben said, between the guest speakers and our participants. And we used, for example, thinking routines in order to anticipate the topics during the online sessions. We anticipated the topics that the participants would be dealing with during the following weeks. Yes. And another innovative aspect was a meeting on February the 6th we had, and it was called Mentees and Mentors Voices. We had the great pleasure of having Dr. Richard Smith and Sedento Yan. She was always with us, of course, who were giving the mentoring teacher research workshop. We had a meeting together, and they were invited and their participants were invited too. So their mentors and mentors to be had a mentoring dialogue with our participants. Our participants shared their research topics, their data collection tools, and intended plan of analyzing the data. So it was it was the first time we had a meeting like that, and it was a meeting point between mentors and participants, our participants, teacher researchers. It was a fantastic opportunity for their participants and for our participants. Yes. All right. Well, Ruben, you talked about the length of our workshop. And do you remember exactly how many participants we had this year?
There were 223 participants enrolled. As usual, most of them are active, but some of them are not. But we try to, well, as one of the challenges, is that not precisely how to keep them motivated so that they can continue, yes, with interaction during the whole workshop. And well, and it is always, I say it's fantastic, yes, meeting teachers, colleagues from different corners of the world, yes, from countries such as, well, from Latin America, Peru, for example, Colombia, Ecuador, from India, Nepal, Vietnam, Nigeria, Russia, different in Mexico as well. So it's always great to interact with colleagues from these different cultures and countries, but with a common core, a common thing. Yes, we have, that is as I always say, that passion for teaching and sharing. Yes, the issues, yes, concerning our teaching practices.
Yes.
Okay, and let's share, Mariana, something about the roundup session that is coming soon, very, very soon.
Yes, of course, Ruben, it will take place this Saturday, March the 26th, and there will be presentations. Different participants will present their research studies. There will be interaction with the audience because there will be Q&A sections for our participants to ask questions, share their doubts, yes, after each presentation with the presenters. And there will be interaction between our mentors and the audience. So I think it will be a rewarding experience, another rewarding experience. And I would like to add that another interesting aspect we included this year was that even though during the synchronous meetings, there were Q&A sections after each presentation, we designed and we opened Q&A sections on Canvas. That is to say, we wanted, yes, the guest speakers to go on interacting with our participants during the week in relation to their presentations during synchronous meetings. So they were, as we said with Ruben, there was a lot of interaction this year. Yes, that was one of our successes. Yes. Okay, and Ruben, is there anything else you would like to share with the audience and in relation to our future plans too?
Sorry, Mariana, I had a problem with the connection and I couldn't listen the very last part. Your question. Yes,
okay,
sorry about this.
No problem. Yes, it's very stormy in Argentina. I think that it is stormy in where Ruben lives.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yes. Would you like to share our future plans with the audience?
Well, we have some drafts of future plans because we have to continue discussing with Mariana and also with the mentors and and some of the participants to get some ideas from them as well. But the idea is to continue moderating and the classroom-based research workshop, and also to try to face the challenges and how we can solve them, yes, to improve the interaction, and also to innovate in some way in some areas. We don't know exactly how yet, but we would like to change some of the aspects related to the workshop, which are okay, of course, but we want to improve things. Yes. Bailey, we were thinking with Mariana that one idea could be to invite, apart from inviting participants individually, also to get, for example, coordinators of schools of the English department, for instance, to enroll in the workshop together as a team and work together as a team, as in an institutional way, maybe. So this is an idea. We don't know if it's going to work out, but this is an idea we have. And also to continue develop, mainly to get participants motivated and guide them, and so that they are able to follow the workshop and complete all the activities proposed. Yes, so that's it basically. Some ideas, and we always have the constant support of here's Seden, Richard, and Ashley, and all other colleagues who are always helping us, yes, with the workshop as well. So thank you all.
Yes, yes, so true, Ruben. Richard and Seden are always by our sides. Okay, sometimes we have ideas with Ruben, send them emails, and we always get their responses and suggestions and comments. Yes, this year with Ruben, we asked Richard and Seden if some of their mentors could guide or accompany our participants, and they said yes, of course. And some of their mentors are still working with our participants. Yes, that is, we are going to have the final round of event this Saturday, but their mentors will continue working with our participants, because as Ruben said, maybe their projects are longer or they were on holidays. Yes, thinking about maybe a future event, a future conference, who knows? Yes, for them to share their outcomes. Yes, and as Ruben said, we are always thinking about implementing changes, always. Yes. Okay, Ruben, would you like to say any other thing?
No. Yes, thank you again for this invitation and for letting us share in our experience in the last edition of the workshop. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Best of EVO 2022 team, Richard, Seden, and also all our great team of mentors, because we have ideas with Ruben, but they are the ones who suggest, who add comments, who are always there. Yes, take parts in the synchronous events and work on Canvas too. So we are a great team. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Ruben.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Mariana and Ruben. Are there any questions, Rose, in the chat?
No questions so far.
No questions so far. Okay. I think we can start with the next session, and maybe we'll have more questions towards the end. So our next session is mentoring teacher research, and our presenters are Richard Smith and Sidan Tuyan.
Okay, right. I'm Richard Smith. Very nice to see you all. Very nice to hear Mariana and Ruben. And I'm together here with Seden. Are you there, Seden?
Here, Richard. Hello, everyone.
Great. Seden's from Turkey.
It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah. Shall we start introducing ourselves?
Yeah, go ahead, Seden. Yeah.
Well, hello again. I am Seden Tuyan, Eraldemir Tuyan, actually, from Turkey. I live in the southern part. I work at Chai University as a teacher educator, and I've been mentoring for teacher research since 2014, since the time I met Richard and Kenan Dikiletaş at some conferences in Turkey. Well, since then, I have mentored different cohorts of teachers, language teachers in my previous workplace in in-service programs. Then I started mentoring senior students at ELT department for more than 3 years. So I love being a mentor. I like empowering, inspiring teacher candidates. Right now, it's another aspect that feels great. Richard?
Yeah, thanks, Eden. Well, I've been involved with, I'm teaching at the University of Warwick in the UK, and for the last 20 years, I suppose, I've been involved with helping students and later teachers to research their classrooms, to inquire into their classrooms. And we asked actually to be together with Mariana and Ruben, because they are very much our sister or brother EVO. And Seden mentioned Kenan Dikiletaş, who started the classroom-based research EVO together with Aslı Saylam a number of years ago. And I think the EVO in classroom-based research has been very important in spreading ideas, spreading the idea that we strongly believe in, that teachers can find a lot of practical value in researching their classrooms. And I was involved with it, and I've also been involved very much with teachers in India and Nepal in helping mentors to mentor teacher research. So I was involved with some British Council projects which first started me reflecting a lot about what does it mean to be a mentor of teacher research. And you've seen how with Mariana and Ruben, they mentioned the importance of the mentors that work with the teachers, and this is important, that teachers can't necessarily start doing teacher research just on their own. They can, many do, but it's really important in their first steps in researching their classrooms that they have a mentor, have somebody to guide them. Not only the EVO coordinators, but they have somebody who can have a dialogue with them. And you saw how many good mentors there are in their EVO. And what we are interested in our EVO, which we first had it in 2020, together with Seden, based on our experience of helping mentors or developing mentors to mentor teacher research. How can we maybe increase the number of people who feel able to facilitate teacher research? Because we strongly believe in that from our experience and practice in the value of teachers doing research. So how can we spread this? How can we spread this? And I think the important thing is that we are helping teachers maybe who've done teacher research themselves to become mentors. It's often happens, doesn't it, that somebody who's experienced it, they want to share that, they want to help others to do teacher research. We're just taking this a step further in the EVO and trying to see how we can help that process. So, as I said, we did it in 2020, and that was just before the pandemic, of course. So lots of things happened. Anyway, let's talk about the 2022 one, and we're going to go back again later to what's happened between 2020 and 2022. So, why do we have this EVO? Because we believe in the value of teacher research, and we believe in the value of helping more people to become mentors of teacher research. Who's it for then? You can see a few ideas about who it might be for. We have a syllabus. We have a kind of week by week set of topics. These are areas that we know are difficult for teachers and therefore important for mentors to know how to help teachers with. So these are the areas that we've identified really that teachers find difficult in doing teacher research. And so week by week, we want to discuss these topics with potential mentors or with experienced mentors And that was basically the syllabus, week by week. But going back to what we did this time, we had 6 online meetings, so over a period of 5 weeks. That was 5, actually, sorry, 5 weeks. That was 5 on every Saturday or Sunday, I think. And then we had one bonus session, which Mariana and Ruben mentioned, and they organized, and that was really good. Our participants got together with their participants, and our participants were mentoring their participants. That was really interesting. I don't know, maybe the first time it's been done with EVO, that 2 EVOs come together like that. We use Zoom, of course, for our meetings. The participants to post a plan. We'll see some of those plans if we have time at the end, of actually planning to mentor a group or a single teacher. So that's what our aim was, that we would inspire or encourage people to get a group together that they would mentor to do teacher research. We had 85 participants from different countries that you can see. We used groups.io it's the same group that we used 2 years ago. This is what it looks like. It's quite good. We could have our weekly activities inside here with links. We could have a message board, which we used, where the messages go directly to people's email accounts. And we could also upload files, actually, which we did. Some people wanted to share their reflections, their reports, or research about mentoring. So it was good for us. Unfortunately, groups.io doesn't enable us to have all of these things for free anymore, but it did 2 years ago. So what we decided to do was to carry on with the group that we had already from 2 years ago, and just to join new people into the same group. And we warned those people who already, probably forgot that they were members of this, that a lot of new people were going to join. And we said you could leave if you like. Actually, very few people left. So, and as I said, we used Zoom for meetings. But that aspect, that we are joining new people to an existing membership group that we met, we got together 2 years ago, I think relates strongly to our aim of building a community. And I think that's a very important thing about EVO generally, that it's not just a course, it's not just a syllabus where you're giving content, it's to building a community. I think that's true of all EVO experiences, and it's very much the case with us. What actually happened, wasn't it, so then, that we had experienced mentors already there, who joined in sometimes. We also had new experienced mentors joining us. So we had a mixture this time of experienced mentors and novice mentors, which made it quite a different feeling from previously. But that was okay with us, I think. So then we just felt we kind of felt it was more about keeping this community going and building this community than actually having a course.
And we have grown, Richard, hugely since the time we have started. And we have also started collaborating with our sister EVO, Mariana and Ruben. And it's great to see that the community is growing and making use of all contribution to the development of teachers all over the world. It's a great pleasure to see and experience to see that as well, because our efforts worked and people kept researching their classrooms and making use of what they gain out of this experience and sharing their gains with their students.
We've got a couple of examples later on about what happened between the first EVO and this EVO to show that community is developing. But first, maybe send over to you some outcomes of 2022 EVO.
Well, thank you, Richard. Our participants liked the idea of being a community of mentors, because there was such a collegiality among us, and we could talk about our work-related issues, our challenges, freely, comfortably, as it was a community. This was like a professional friendship, and our participants felt comfortable related to that and enjoyed that collegial atmosphere, we can say. And they also reported that they have strengthened their knowledge of mentoring, and also it was inspiring for them to become a part of this group with experienced and beginning mentors. Especially this year, we had newcomers, beginner mentors, and they have also grown more experienced by exchanging experiences with the more experienced mentors. This was an opportunity, actually. Also, they liked our the sharing of this resources for mentoring, and this they also could initiate a community of practice, and they could also reflect on their learning or their challenges during the process in group.io. And they also said that it was nice from reading others' comments, again, shared in group.io, which was happy. And we also got other nice feedback. For example, it's such great to read. I felt at home. This sounds that our participants felt comfortable and enjoyed their learning with us as a community. And it was related also to constructing knowledge together, which was also really helpful for professional development. And also, as this was a mentoring EVO, they also had some gained insights on how to assist teachers in conducting research, because in our breakout room talks, we had the chance to exchange our insights, our experiences, and it was great, about understanding the nature of the challenges different mentors face. And this was a source of inspiration for others, because sometimes, when you feel stuck about guiding a group of teachers, and there you have a huge group of mentors all together, very open to share what they know within this at-home-like community. So basically, we enjoyed our Sunday sessions. Our sessions was on Sunday, Richard. It was a family day, normally. But as it was a family gathering, like we met on Sundays.
Maybe that's something to change for the future.
I don't know. Nobody complained.
No.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks. I just wanted to mention that in relation to that for the syllabus, we did use chapters, or we referred resources, basically activities. We referred to this book, but that came out of experience in Nepal and India about helping people to become mentors of teacher research. But actually, the whole point of the EVO, when we started it 2 years ago, is also to build on that knowledge. It's a new area. It's an area that hasn't been very much written about, and that's just a starting point. That book is just a starting point. So part of I think what the EVO has been about has been constructing new knowledge, but with experienced mentors coming together to discuss issues that they find in mentoring. And I would say that this time it was much more like that. It was less sort of a syllabus, a course, and more a kind of the meetings anyway, the time for issues in mentoring to be discussed. I think partly that it wasn't just what we intended, it was because there were a number of experienced mentors. And it was also facilitated by the fact that because of the pandemic, we all know how to use Zoom much better, and we could use the breakout rooms, and we used the breakout rooms in a way we hadn't done before, in two ways, I think. One was to have people discussing issues in groups or pairs, but also to actually practice mentoring. And even if they were experienced or not experienced, we were all treating each other, talking to each other, mentoring one another. We could say peer coaching about our recent teaching experience.
Exactly.
It was a good way to practice, wasn't it?
It was. Peer coaching helped us to improve our mentoring skills as well. Yeah. Like we practiced the communication strategies used by mentors for scaffolding, for better guiding the teachers to understand their challenges.
So at the end, we asked participants to upload their mentoring plans. That was the sort of product or the outcome, and so that's what quite a few of them have done. And for example, Ellie in Ecuador is mentoring a teacher in Latvia. There was a lot of this international mentoring that comes out of this EVO.
Different parts of the world.
Mariana is cooperating with Anna in Spain, and they're together mentoring a teacher in Kurdistan. Amazing. And I know they are both also helping with a group in China who is Zening.
I think we have 1 minute left, maybe. Well, it's a great map, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, well, we just wanted to mention two things that have happened since last time, since the EVO in 2020. Would you just like to briefly mention this, together with the EVO participants? It's kind of evidence or examples of how we think this is developing as a community. So then do you want to just briefly mention this?
Enhancement mentoring. Well, Richard invited us, Mariana, Eli Bekesh, and myself. During the pandemic, we tried to empower one another and developed an approach based on success. Then it was our first cycle. We invited the mentors in our community from 2020, and we introduced the idea of enhancement mentoring to those group of teachers, and we got feedback and improved the approach, and our understanding gets stronger, and we had a nice work, and we had a publication out of that. And we developed some templates. Everyone who is interested in this kind of mentoring can also use our model and have teachers conduct teacher research based on their successful experiences. That was a different aspect of our mentoring for enhancement.
Yeah, and we always wanted to get back together again with people, and we never expected that's the way we would be getting back together with people from the EVO. But that's how it developed. That we did re-engage with EVO participants from 2020 in this new way coming out of the pandemic. So it's an example also of community building, but also of how we are constructing new knowledge around the new area of mentoring teacher research. Of course, mentoring has got its own literature, its own background. Teacher research has got a lot of literature, but bringing these two together is what we've been doing. Another way, very quickly, that something that happened in 2021 was coming out of we haven't come out of the pandemic, of course, but the sense of wanting to have something hopeful to look forward to. We decided, together with the ITFL Research Special Interest Group, to plan a conference that we used to have in Turkey. That's where I first met Seden. And sometimes in Argentina. That's how I met Ruben and Mariana. And we decided to put it online. And we bravely had a Zoom-based conference. The way that we organized this was we got in touch with EVO, mainly EVO mentors from the EVO, saying in about May 2021, would you like to get a group together who would do teacher research and mentor them from May until December? And they did. And the result was we had this conference, and we've made book out of it online. And so you have mentor groups basically from different parts. So we hope that we'll do this again this year. Well, actually, this is a good thing. We start with EVO this now, then we maybe have monthly meetings from May onwards, and we plan. And the Untitled Research Link has already agreed they're going to have this conference again. And hopefully, Mariana and Ruben, your participants, also mentored by your moderators, will want to take part in this as well. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening.
What an amazing presentation. Seden and Ruben, there are a few questions. One of the questions is from our participants in this session, how they can become a part of this group of mentors.
Right. We have a Facebook group, and that's the best way at the moment.
Could you please share the link?
Yeah, sure.
Are you going to share the link to the slides so that people can learn more about your work from the slides? Read for the links.
Okay, we'll put that onto our we'll put the slides onto our website. So let me put the mentoring dots. So I'll just put the link to that.
Could you write the link in the chat, or maybe?
And then the Facebook. I'll put the Facebook group as you're speaking. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And
there's a question. Yes.
Actually, sorry. You can get everything through this link. It's mentoring-tr.weebly.com.
Okay. So the Weebly link, and through that link, people can get every other link they want.
Yeah.
Thank you. And there was a question about the platform. Why didn't you use Canvas instead of GroupStyle?
I'm not sure. I don't think we knew enough about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question was, is there a reason? So that answers it. Thank you. And the question from Nelly, did the issues vary from country to country, or were they basically the same issues?
We always. I said, and do you want to answer that question?
It was also nice to feel confirmed, hearing about other teachers or teacher educators, similar concerns, worries. Especially, we were very supportive to one another in the community about those emerging issues during the pandemic. So more or less, teachers had similar challenges related to their context, regardless of their country.
Yeah, we always find this with teachers, actually, that of course, culturally and everything is different. Every classroom is different, but sharing similar issues across countries. I think Mariana and Ruben might agree, but we find the same with mentoring. It's amazing, sort of international. We do find that issues are shared.
Teachers' workload, teachers. Burnout issues, teachers, they were more or less similar.
Yes, and it's amazing when they realize that teachers all over the world have the same concerns. They can't believe it. Yes, even though we are far away, from one another, the concerns, the issues are similar. Yes, so true, Seden and Richard.
All right, great. Thank you all so much. So now it's time for our third presentation. So we have Maha Hassan on behalf of her co-moderator, Aya El-Wakil, and she's going to tell us about CEFR versus assessment. Go ahead, Maha.
Yeah, hello, everyone. Can I share my screen?
Yes, please, Maha.
Yeah, because Richard is still there, yeah?
No, you can share now. Welcome, Maha, you can share your screen. We are ready for your presentation.
Here it is. Is it clear enough?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. This is a new outlook for assessment. I have been doing this as a kind of comparative study between Cefr, the new Cefr revisions, and the old Cefr, and how to use it in assessment, especially after the pandemic. I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself before I started. I'm Hassan. I come from Egypt. I'm a teacher trainer, educational consultant, and I'm also the founder of and CEO of Teaching ESL Hub in Egypt. I'm also the newsletter editor for TESOL, Ipsen SIG. I'm also member at large at the is for of TESOL. The TESOL is for improving writing or writing as a second language. So here the whole idea started a few years ago when they started revising the Cefr, the old Cefr, and they changed it from the old info from the old one to the new one. From 2001, they started making researches with different teachers around Europe, and they wanted to improve the Cefr not to be used only by people who are setting curricula and different course books and exams only. They wanted to make it much wider, and they wanted to use it to help teachers. So they divided before, at the very beginning, the Cefr was divided into the three basic categories of A1, A2, basic speaker, B1, B2, independent speaker, C1, C2, proficient speaker. And so they, when they wanted to make the new revisions of the Cefr, they decided to make interviews with different teachers around Europe, and the teachers said that they found difficulty in fitting students in these different 6 scales, and they wanted to help the teachers to use it in teaching, not only for exams and course books. And so they said, the teacher said, sometimes it's difficult to fit a student in A only or B only or C only. So they started revising the whole thing, and they came up with the new Cefr companion or the new companion volume, which started working by the end of 2017-2018. And since that time, I've been using the Cefr in comparison to assessment. How can we use the Cefr to help teachers to assess their own students, and at the same time, how to help the students themselves to assess their work and see how far they are developing with the learning of the language. If you'd like to take a look quickly at what I've done with the EVO, I've done it with the EVO. This is the 5th year for me with the EVO to do this this course. As usual, I introduced the Cefr and the scales, the old scales, and with the new scales, they started working like this. They added A1, pre-A1, and then they left A1, and they added A1 plus. For the A2, they left it as it is, and then they added A2 plus. They had B1 and they added B1 plus. They had B2 and they added B2 plus, and they left C1 and C2 together. These were the basic scales according to which the publishers and the different people around the world started putting, having a new and different perspective of the Cefr. And this is how I try to help teachers to get in through this and use it for assessment. So how did they change the descriptors? In the past, the descriptors were mainly concerned with the 4 language skills only, but with the new descriptors, they changed it like this. Descriptors means they explained how the teachers can use all these to assess their own students. In the past, they were just concerned with the listening, speaking, reading, writing. Now they gave it a different perspective. Sanya, how much time do I have?
Baha, 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes, thank you.
Yes.
So they gave it, thank you. So they gave it this outlook, and they concentrated on the idea that teachers should work on different with the students on different on activities and concentrate on group work and pair work, because this is the most important thing. And the most important thing is that they help the students to give their opinions, discuss their opinions in class, and at the same time be able to use it to speak about their personal information, personal experiences concerning the different topics that they study at school. And this is the outcome. With the EVO course or the EVO session, I divided it into the 5 weeks as usual. I put the very first week we discussed this very early introduction, and then I discussed with them the receptive activities and how they discussed it with the new Cefr revisions, and the productive activities, and asked the teachers to try to apply it to lessons that they have already given to their own students, and some of them already had experience with the Cefr, they had an idea. So I asked them to revise one of the old lessons and see if they have applied all the new Cefr developments or not, and how they can develop it and make it more interactive for their own students. But again, with the second week, I asked them with the interaction activities, which were stressed so much by the new Cefr revisions, how to make the classes interactive using group work, pair work, online, and so on, interaction, together with the mediation. Mediation means the idea of what kind of medium are you going to use as a teacher to work with your own students. Are you going to use a course book? Are you going to use a comprehension sheet? Are you going to use a video, what we call a listening piece, and so on? Any kind, what kind of medium are you going to use? And they stress the importance of the medium, and the choice should be very accurate by the teacher, and how to help the students to get through all this in order to be able to speak more in class and become more interactive. By the way, it's over there, it's on the website of the Council of Europe. It's all free, and it's very, very helpful. I helped them. I gave them examples of the different descriptors, how they were set in the new Cefr revisions, and like these. And then I asked them, I gave them another idea about, I'm sorry, they are not here, about the plurilingualism and pluriculturalism, and how how these were stressed with the new Cefr revisions, and how they were very important. And they also stressed with the new Cefr revisions the online teaching, and how to develop the online teaching. Again, we had 2 different weeks where I introduced the idea of the online plurilingualism and pluriculturalism, and again asked the teachers to apply these to their own lessons and try to discuss it with us, how they find out that they can, these can help them to get better with their own teaching. Again, we had another week where we discussed the parallel project set by the new Cefr revisions. It's for young learners, where it was divided for teachers who taught ages 7 to 10, and teachers who taught ages 11 to 15. And I gave them example of the descriptors again, and I gave them suggestions how to make assessment templates for themselves as teachers to assess their own students. And at the same time, there were descriptors here, a lot of descriptors here, where the teachers can use to make very simple assessment templates for their own students, where they can assess themselves how far they have developed with the learning of the language, so they can take more responsibility of the learning. And so this would help the teacher to see how they are going to be more interactive in class, and if the activities proposed by the teacher, are they suitable enough for the teacher or not. So these were the different descriptors of the parallel project. Again, it's already free over there. And I gave them examples of the different assessment templates set by, again, on the website of the Cefr. Some of them are very simple for very young learners. Some are very complicated for the much older ones. I have already tried some of them with my own students, even university students. They were very, very, very helpful, because they help the students to take responsibility, think, why am I learning the language? Is it nice and helpful to study the language? I want to be interested more. How can I be more interested in learning the language? And the teacher herself or himself would revise the different activities given in class, are they suitable for the students or not? What kind of discussions should we take on in class? These are the different kinds. Again, you can find them. The links are at the very end. And then we worked for 2 other weeks on the idea of online assessment tools. We introduced the different tools, and I gave them instructions step by step how to work with these tools for speaking. And I asked them to go and have their own accounts over there and try to make lessons over there on these different websites, and try to work on them if there is a chance to work with their own students and give us back their ideas, how far they were successful with this. Voxo, Flipgrid, I'm sorry. Flipgrid, WordWall, Voki, all these are for free. Extempore is the only one which is not free. WordWall, I wanted to apply the WordWall with you, but the time is very, very short. We have to run a lot. Again, with for the assessment, there is this Cambridge Assessment English. This is a whole file over there online. It's very, very helpful. It has been set for about 2 years now by the Cambridge Assessment English, where they introduce different items for assessment that can help teachers. You can choose whichever assessment that can help you. You can make your own assessment even out of it. And this was very helpful with lots of teachers and students. And they have already set assessment using pictures, using videos, and so on. So I introduced this and asked them to work with it as well. The listening, this is one of the wonderful websites I introduced for listening. The reading as well. Together with Socrative Quizlet and Quizalize. These ones are really helpful and very interactive and nice. And we can train our own students how to work on these. And then by the end of the term or the year or the month, we can help them to make very short exams on them. And we can help them to go on using them as a kind of work online, which can save us a lot of time. Also, I introduced different ideas for teaching writing, yes. And I suggested Grammarly and Beta. Beta was introduced also by Cambridge. You can ask the students, if you don't have time to go over there, write. They give them topics, you write the topics over, they write on the topic, and they submit. And the website is going to correct it for them. If the sentence is right, it's going to be green. If it's half and half, it's going to be orange. If it's wrong, it's going to be red. So the students have the chance to go back, correct it, and come back again and submit it once more to be recorrected once more. There is also writing for FCE of the British Council and the IELTS, yes, the IELTS and different other exams, but unfortunately you have to pay for them. But for the other simple ones, it's for free. And then we discussed the idea of writing, how to help them to do this kind of writing in class, how to apply it. If they wanted any help, how to please go ahead. I asked them to, with an assignment, to go and apply it on their work and then give us feedback for this. And by the last week, the 5th week, we just summed up the whole story. And of course, I set the link here for the course, for the session. And this is the link for the EVO. And these are the references. If you want them, you are most welcome for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Maha. We have a lot of encouraging and kind comments in the chat. And we have one question about your participants. So Christine was wondering, tell us about your participants, where they come from and so on. Thank you.
Yes, I forgot this while I was discussing. Yes, I had about 54 participants. They came from all around the world. They came from Egypt. They came from Italy, Spain, Ukraine. The other side of the world, yes, the South America. We had lots of some South America. They are usually interested in the idea of assessment because they over there they usually make changes with the systems of education, and sometimes these systems are not that practical, so they want someone to help them with these. So we usually discuss things about these, and they were very informative about that. Yeah. Any other questions?
Some great comments about the tools you've used too.
Thank you very much. If you want the PowerPoint, you are most welcome. You can just write me back and I can send it to you. I have also, I will also be sending a copy of the PDF of the presentation to Nelly, because I have already presented this on CO22, the course of Connecting Online, which Nelly had already held last month. So you will find also the copy of the PowerPoint over there.
Okay. Thank you, Maha.
Thank you very much.
That brings us to the end of today's session. And thank you very much to all the presenters, and thank you to everybody in the audience. That's our last session for today, but we have 2 more tomorrow. I think 2 more Best of EVO sessions. Am I right, Nagla?
Yes, correct.
And okay, it's almost 1 hour, 60 minutes in our session, and I will stop the recording, and I will say goodbye and thank you to all of you, and hope to see you all tomorrow.